Your ways are not our ways, Lord. Your thoughts are not our thoughts. For how unsearchable, unknowable is the wisdom of our God.
Good morning, brothers. Good morning, sisters. You that is following us. As we promised last week, today we are again this Monday on our hour of wisdom. And we are the privilege and we're blessed to have with us a young entrepreneur, because we want to speak about entrepreneurship. Because during this time, post-pandemic, there's a lot of people that are going to lose their work, especially in Africa, so that we want to give some practical issues about entrepreneurship. I just want very quickly our invited person to introduce himself. I can tell you his name is Peter Matondo. Would you introduce yourself, Peter?
Good morning again. My name is Matondo. I came from Congo, DRC.
Yeah, so as you can see, is from DRC, Congo. And the country that we're speaking now from is South Africa. So how did you come to this country? When did you come? And why did you come especially?
I came in South Africa since 2013. No, 2003. It's been now 17 to 16 years I'm here in South Africa, since I left Congo.
So you can see that he left the DRC, his native country, and then he's been here for 17 years and in South Africa. If I may ask, how did you survive in South Africa?
I survived in South Africa because before I left my country, I learned mechanic through my father. Because my father was a mechanic, he was doing mechanic in Congo, so I learned it through him. So it's the same job I learned then to my country, it's the same job I'm doing here in South Africa.
So you can see that Peter is telling us his life story. That means he left the DRC already at home. His father was a mechanic. He was repairing cars, like they do in African countries. Maybe you that are following us in Europe, you don't know that. You can change your yard into a garage and then you start fixing up cars and the mechanics, and then you get your children to help you with that. And then in the process, they learn a skill, a know-how that you can see in these kind of cases that is the same skills that he learned from his dad that he brought into South Africa. And now, if we may ask, you came with a skill. What do you do? Did you go and look for work, or what did you do when you arrived?
No, I never went to look for jobs, because in that time you need to learn how to speak English first. Between that space you have to survive. So I started working with a group of friends which they came here before me. They was having their own place where they was working. We started working together, but I was under them. So after 1 or 2 years, I stopped working with them. I went to another place to working for my own. And then from there until today, I'm still doing the same job.
So you can see when we speak about a mindset, this is a gentleman that grew up in a house where the father was self-employed. Then you can see already that he grew up with a different kind of mindset. Beside that mindset, you can see that he had a skill. So when he came here, he had a different kind of mindset. I got a skill. I saw my father doing this. So directly he joined a group of people that were sort of like self-employed. So he never went to look for Toyota, Nissan, Mercedes-Benz and all those kind of things to look for an employment. He went straight into working for himself. And then he says since then it's been. But what I want to ask you, you had a skill that you learned from your father. Did you think that skill was enough?
It was not enough, because we were learning every day, which this new technology, the new cars is still coming out. It's not like the old cars. Now we have new cars now. We're learning every day.
Yes. Now, what we want to tell you in this hour of wisdom, you that following us, is that to show you that kind of background. You got a background, you got a skill. Every one of you, where you are, you got a skill. You know maybe how to make a haircut. You know maybe how to make dresses. I think everyone has got a skill, more or less, the majority of people. But what he's telling us, Peter, is saying the skill that you've learned is not enough. I've met so many people, like they tell me, look, I'm a qualified person from Kenya, from the DRC. I qualified in 1996. I'm a lawyer. Come on, for goodness sake. You haven't practiced for a long time. So every kind of period where you arrive at somewhere, you have to supplement to that skills, because technology is going ahead. And that's exactly what Peter is telling us, because the new cars, the new technology, they're here to supplement on that. We want to touch now on sort of like the organization, because entrepreneurship, I recommend for you a book that was written by a guy called Geber from the United States. He said the myth of the entrepreneur. He touched on the entrepreneurship, and his idea is entrepreneurs, even if it's good when they start, but they struggle to get it organized into a company. So that's why we want to discuss that aspect of organizing it, your skills, your know-how, and organize it into a company. How did you go about? Are you still working for yourself? Have you started a company? Have you got people that are working with you? What's happening? Tell us your experience.
No, I'm still doing with the same business, mechanic, but I've got another business which I opened this year. Before, still I was doing mechanic I was selling cars also, since it's going together. So, but now I've got a new business where I'm stripping cars, selling second-hand space. But it took me many years to realize that project with a support with many friends of me, if they help me with the idea. So sometimes you need to know which kind of friend you are bringing next to you, because this kind of country, if you came, there's a lot of distraction here to this new country if you came, because you need to know which kind of friend you are bringing next to you. Mm-hmm. Don't bring friend next to you. You are not going to profit to them. Bring some friends which they're going to help you to bring your idea far, not the one they're going to bring you down. So until now, I've got the same business, which like one business, but I've got another business where I'm still selling cars, stripping cars also.
Now, you see what I wanted to take you through. Peter is talking about business. That's why, we've discussed a lot about what we call financial intelligence. As you can see, he started off as a mechanic. I've heard some of my cars fixed by Peter. That means he will go from places to places. People will call him, come and fix my car, come and check. I'm stuck on the side of the road. He's got a skill, he's got a know-how. Until one day, he didn't tell you, he got a yard. He said 2 years after, then he had a place, he had an address. Peter Matondo, mechanic, whatever he called it. So people now used to go to him. So they will bring the car, he will fix it for them, and then he got one person that he helping him. So Peter, when he fixes his car, he goes to buy the parts. So he has now realized that there's a lot of money into buying parts. So now, with help of many friends, he advise you, you should know how to choose your partner properly. So he has put up now a business. He's still fixing car. He hasn't stopped. That's his skills. He still got some money coming. And then he's selling cars as well. So he can get a car that has been badly damaged in an accident, buy it on auction and fix it and sell it on the marketplace and get. Now, he's gone into another business. Still related to his car mechanic business. He has realized that people need parts. So now he's stripping off car that has been in a crash, in an accident, and he does what? He sells those parts on the market, and then it's a business now that he has done. The selling of car, the stripping of car, it may not need him to be involved directly. You see how I'm getting you from an entrepreneur that is combining social intelligence when he tells you about how to choosing partners. He's now talking about business. That's now the part when he brings in financial intelligence. And what I want to just challenge him a little bit on, when he talks about business, I just want to, if it's not personal information to give you. When you talk about business, how is your business registered? Is it a PDY, LCC? Have you got accountant? Have you got a bank account? How do you organize your business? Have you got people working for you? Have you got a place where they can recognize your business? How do you market your business?
Yes, the business is registered. In the beginning, you don't have choice. You don't know where to start, where to go. You'll start like that first. I started like that without being registered. Later on, with advice of friends, you can't go far in the country if you didn't register the company. The company must be registered. You must have a bank account for that business. You must have an accountant, because you can't do everything yourself. You must get some people, they must help you to bring your business forward. So I have people, they are working with me, because we need to fix cars, we need to strip, we need to sell. So you can't do it alone. You need to hire some people. So the government must know. You have to register the business must be registered, and then the business must have a bank account for the business.
Okay, so you can see now there's an organization behind, looking at the legislation of the country, looking at, how to pay tax, how to pay VAT, and all those kind of things. Now, before we finish this hour of wisdom with our friend, the entrepreneur, Peter Matondo, we just want to ask him his vision now, going 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. He's a young man from now. Where does he see himself? Now, I'm bringing up the idea that I told you before about the timeline. You'll have to dream big for you to have enough energy to go into the future. You have to have a vision of how 2030 is going to look for you. You have to have a vision of how 2035, 2040 is going to look for you, in Jesus' mighty name. Peter, what is your vision for the future? How do you see your business going forward?
I'm seeing my business in the future. We can't mix mechanic and scrapyard one place. In the future, I'm trying to see if I can take 2 places. One side will put the mechanic side, only like a workshop where they're fixing cars. One side where they can only do the scrapyard, fixing cars. We start with one idea, but the idea is the next 2-3 years. If you can have this, we start with one, we can have a second place, the third place. The more you open the new place, the more you need to hire some more people to work with you. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So Peter is looking at expansion. Peter is looking at diversifying one business from the other one, separating them so that it's not all the eggs in one basket. You see all those business ideas coming down into practical issues. We've reached the end of our hour of wisdom today when we talk about entrepreneurship. And then I just wanted to ask Peter if he's got a word for people now that they think they've got a skill, they think they've got something to offer, but they can't be employed. Peter, would you give advice to those kind of people?
The advice I can just give, it's when you came, let's say, to a foreign country, you must know how to adjust yourself. You must be serious. People, they have to trust you. The important things on the journey is only trust. If people, they don't trust you, you can't go far. But if people trust you, you start with one business, people, they will come after you. You can have one client, that one client is going to bring another client. Mechanic opened a lot of doors for me. I meet with many people who are doing many business, but we started with mechanic only. But because they found you're a serious person, they will bring you far, they will bring you some more business.
Okay, Peter touched big problem about trust, about accountability, to be a reliable person in business. And then we want just to thank him now. And Peter, thank you for being with us. in this our wisdom. We know that many people that are now got a skill, they will be inspired by the fact that you came about 17 years ago, and then now you have gone so far in 17 years and got your own company. And we want to thank you for the fact that you could come today and be with us in this hour of wisdom. God bless you abundantly. That's the hour of wisdom for today with your success coach, Pastor Dominique, and then we talked about the entrepreneurship. We will see you again. Bye.